I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It, and today I want to present to you a piece from a recent streaming class that I offered at my Wrestle Factory about a week or so ago. I've been doing live seminars from the floor of the Wrestle Factory so we can all keep learning during this lockdown. In fact, I will drop a link down below to where some of these seminars are archived in case you are interested to explore some. But coming up next, a great question that was asked during my tag team class about maintaining a certain degree of individuality in a tag team. And in order to tackle that, I'm going to also define the difference between tag teams which are bookends and those which are not. And that is all next. What do you do when you have two gigantic personalities and yet they've got to come together under one umbrella? How do you tackle that challenge? Well, I think you need to consider what is the end result that you are looking for. If you are trying to create, for example, a bookend tag team, so you've got matching gear, same gimmick, and a team name, you're going to have to approach it in this way. You're going to explore a bit of a Venn diagram and look at the shared space. What are the similarities that allow this to seem like a congruous presentation? And it can be more than just the costuming, right? Matching gear. It can be more than just choosing a team name. You want to explore the shared area on that Venn diagram, but then you also have to make sure you find the points of contrast. And this is going to allow you to foil against your partner. So not only will you explore the similarities, but you're going to use your partner as a foil to highlight what makes you unique. A great example of that is the Hart Foundation. There is a shared space. They have that matching look, that aesthetic. They've got a team name. For all intents and purposes, on the surface, you might imagine perfect bookends. And yet, the way they foil against each other make Bret Hart's character unique and also help clearly define Jim the Anvil Neidhart to the audience as well. They are not the same. So even though they fully embrace that shared area on their Venn diagram, by foiling against each other through that contrast, they are able to make each individual trait of the independent components that make up the Hart Foundation pop to the audience. It is crystalline to the audience what makes Jim the Anvil Neidhart different from Bret the Hitman Hart. But I appreciate that the end result might not be a bookend tag team. So what's a different example? If you can remember two dudes with attitude, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, when they come together as a tag team, they are not a bookend tag team. They don't satisfy the criteria. Matching gear, same gimmick, and a team name. They have one of those, but they don't have two or even three of those criteria satisfied. If that is the end result, it is far easier to highlight the individual traits and characteristics of each of the wrestlers. In fact, there's very little overlap. When you have the opportunity to explore that, you need to. It makes the team seem congruous to the viewer. They have to come across as if they are a well-oiled machine. However, the non-bookend tag team allows greater freedom to explore the individual characteristics because there is less of an overall blending. And once again, just to distinguish what the difference between them would be is, a bookend tag team tends to satisfy two of these three criteria: same gimmick, same gear, and a team name. If you've got only one or none of those, what you've got there is a non-bookend tag team. So to an extent, it will depend on what you want as the end result for your partnership. And that may be prescribed to you by a writer or by a booker. You may have no control over it. But if you do, I think you need to make a choice about that. Because to an extent, being part of a bookend tag team does mean you will sacrifice some of your individuality to create that team dynamic. It has a thicker shared space on its Venn diagram.